Welcome to my humble abode. How are you doing on this mundane day? Good, I hope. You know, I've never been so envious of anybody's hair as I am with Kevin Nash's. Why can't my hair look that beautiful? Anyway, this story takes place when I was 17 years old, so I want to say that would take us back to 2019. I was working as a snack bar cashier at a bowling alley, and I remember on this particular day, it was a dead Saturday. You think that'd be unheard of, especially in the summer, but we indeed had those days. I worked with some quirky characters at this bowling alley, and the one I was working with today was my boy. What? You thought I was gonna say his name? No, I have a nickname specifically handpicked for him. When I first started working there, he was the guy I mostly worked with, and on my first day, I walked past him with a pizza in my hand, and I hit him with, "Excuse me, ma'am." I do that to people all the time. It's a thing I've been doing since like the second grade. 15 years strong for a stupid inside joke only I get. I heard him immediately go, "Fuck you," like really meanly. He genuinely got mad. So a little bit later, when I came back, I hit him again and again, and I was met with another "fuck you." I did this every day to the point where he eventually went from getting mad to just saying, "Okay, man." So you already know I had to retaliate with a "thanks, ma'am." After I'd say a month went by with him being mad at it, he actually joined in and started calling me ma'am anytime I called him ma'am, and that somehow made us become thicker than thieves. I shit you not, that's genuinely how me and this guy became really close. So naturally, I'm gonna call him ma'am for this story, so shout out to you, ma'am. You and our other boy were an honor to work with, and I'm glad I met you guys. Other boy, I'ma call you Pickle D. 200% guaranteed everyone is gonna be confused on why I'm calling you that, but you know why I'm calling you that. Anyway, me and Mam were chilling behind the counter, just yapping about poking Smot most likely, because that's like 90% of what we talked about, and this day was, again, a very slow day. I've been working for about 5 hours. It's hitting about 9:30 at night, and we haven't had a customer in about 3 hours. So we decided to go outside in the nice summer night air. We let our we let our bartender at the time, who was working with us, know that we were gonna go outside for a little while, and she agreed to watch and make sure that there was no customers, and if any customers come up, she would let us know. So that was usually our thing. If we ever went outside to poke Smot or just go outside and chill, she'd usually be there to help us out and watch out for us. So also, shout out to you. So at the bowling alley I worked at, we had this sidewalk that, led into the building and everything. And on the strip, we had the doors that went into the restaurant, then we had the doors that went into the kitchen, then we had the bar door, and then walk even further, and you would have the main entrance. And on that sidewalk where all those doors are at, they built this like really small black metal fence around it, and it fit about, I want to say, 4 tables inside of it. The gate went from our kitchen door, where me and Mam walked out, and it went all the way to the bar door. Here's a demonstration. I drew it for you, so be thankful I'm very nice. Every here and there would be drunken lads and lasses smoking ciggies out there. And me and Mam were the only ones out there just hanging out talking about how excited we were to go home. And after a couple minutes, about 4 people walked out of the bar and crowded around this table closest to the bar, away from us. We just minded our business, yapping it up, and eventually everyone went inside except one lady. Also us, but you get that. You can tell this lady was completely wasted. I'm talking blackout drunk. Her words were more slurred than a racist vocabulary, and looking into her eyes, you can tell that the lights were on, but nobody was home. Hell, she probably wasn't even paying that electricity bill either by how drunky wunky she was. Because she couldn't be the center of attention to those people anymore, she called us over and started to yap our ears out. Me and Ma'am looked at each other and hesitantly went over there. We really didn't want to, but I was socially awkward. I mean, I still am, but back then I was extremely socially awkward. So I was just like, okay, just as long as it gets the situation done and over with, without me coming off as an asshole. Because that was my big thing. Is I just don't want to be an asshole to people. I don't exactly remember what she talked about because one, it was like 6 years ago, and two, she was drunk person rambling. I'm sure you understand. I do remember me and her started to talk about wrestling though. She mentioned her son was an athlete in school, and I mentioned how I used to wrestle back in middle school. And she went on a 5 minute ramble about how cool her son was and how cool wrestling is, and I'm just awkwardly sitting there hitting her with the classic, yep, 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 And funny enough, I'm not even sure if she cared about wrestling to begin with. She just seemed to talk just to fill the air. Eventually, she pops the question, a question that stuck with me for years, and I can still hear her voice saying it. She gives me a genuine old lady smile and asks, "You guys look like you like to party. Do you guys want to stay up for a couple days?" The question didn't even fully process in my mind at the time because I was just feeling overly awkward and wanting to leave the situation as fast as possible. Being stuck listening to a drunk person's incoherent rambling is straight torture and is one reason I don't hang with alcoholics. I awkwardly say sure, just trying to leave, and at that exact moment, our bartender pokes her head out and lets us know a customer finally approached our snack bar window. Before I could go, jump on that, Nam beat me to it and quickly was like, "Oh, I got it," and went inside faster than I could fully even turn around. I was so pissed, like, fuck you, ma'am, for leaving me with little Miss Drunky. I fucking love you, bro. I don't actually fucking hate you. You're fucking awesome. I love you, bro. To hold out my hands, and once I did, she casually put something in them and closed my hands tight. She closed them like so tight for a few seconds. Being rambled at and touched by a stranger are two of my biggest tortures due to my chronic social anxiety, so from start to finish, this whole thing felt like an eternity. I was very envious of Kurt Cobain. Once she finally let go, she gave me one last genuine good person smile and went back into the bar. I immediately looked at what she placed in my hand, and it was a balled up quarter wrapper. You know those rolls of quarters? It's that paper that it comes in. I opened it up just to be met with a decent pile of this white stuff. I thought it was sugar or some kind of prank, but I did notice that it looked a little thicker than sugar, but thought nothing of it. So walking inside, I was met with Man, and he immediately was all in my biz asking about what she gave me, because he told me that her question completely sketched him out, and he wanted to see what she gave me. I was just gonna throw it away, thinking nothing of it, so I gave it to him and just went back to work like normal, cleaning up. 30 minutes go by, I'm walking down the lanes, grabbing dishes left by lousy customers, and make my way back to the crow's nest. That's where our snack bar is, honestly. It genuinely was a crow's nest. I get back there, and Ma'am and another one of our coworkers were huddled together at the sink, almost intimately. I'm just kidding, but they were definitely looking at something. I dropped the dishes off, and before I could fully walk away, they both called me over. So, making a U-turn, I make my way back over, and this is where I'm told what I was given. Our coworker was previously horribly addicted to meth for years of his life, and at this point, he was a few years clean. And he looked me dead in the eyes with the most serious face I've ever seen him have. And he was usually a joking guy. You know that face your dad makes when he's 100% serious when you get in trouble? It was like that, but obviously, he was more concerned and not mad at me. He looks at me with no sugarcoating. He says, "This is meth." His tone of voice was a mix of concern and disbelief. I was taken aback by this because the only quote unquote drug I've ever been around other than pills was the sticky icky. Oh, and acid as well. I tell in the story, and I was advocating to tell our boss, if we have a person out here happily giving hard drugs to minors with a genuine smile on their face, that's a serious fucking problem. But for whatever reason, they were adamant that I didn't say anything. They never gave me an explanation, they just begged me not to say anything. My guess now, looking back at it, is because everyone there that worked at this bowling alley, 9 out of 11 times in New York, smoked the wacky tobacco. So having the police come would not be a good thing. Ma'am carried bud on him, and sometimes a cart we'd rip throughout the workday, so in a way, I guess I see his concern. But still, this woman was an actual danger. I remember our coworker just dropping it into the trash. The visual of it falling and going everywhere in the trash bag has stuck with me for years. It's the one time I've ever not only gotten close to hard drugs but touched it too. Not like the physical powder, thankfully. I only touched the wrapper. Imagine if I accidentally it somehow went in my nose or something and I just got addicted to it. That would have been way past awful. I think the worst part of the story is I ended up seeing that lady roughly 5 more times, hanging in the bar, laughing and having fun. Obviously, it was too late to do anything by that point, but to this day, I still feel like I messed up by not saying something to my boss. I don't know, do you think I should have gone to the police about the lady giving me hard drugs to minors? Stupid question, I'm sure, but if you were in that situation, would you have?
I would lose to peer pressure a lot, so with Ma'am and our other coworker hounding me, I obviously lost and didn't say anything. So that was the time I was gifted meth by an old lady and held at metaphoric gunpoint not to say anything to our boss by my coworkers. I knew from the very start that this was the story that I was going to tell on my channel, and I'm very glad I finally got it out there. It's just one of those ones that's, in a way, kind of life altering. Not that it, absolutely changed my life, but it's a story I'll never forget, and it'll stick with me for the rest of my life, or as long as I have memories to keep. I apologize for the lack of uploads between this video and the last, but if I'm going to be 100% straight, I've been working on a ginormous project for the channel, and I'm so excited for it to come out. I'm not going to spoil what it is, but it's a deep dive into something, I'd say, and it's going to be a couple-hour video. So that's the main reason it's taken so long to load, because this is the app I use to make these videos. It starts to lag and stuff after you get like 10 minutes of video made and stuff. And I kind of got burnt out because I was working on this video, the next story video, that giant project, and I'm also having another giant project in the background I'm going to work on next. So it's just kind of been a lot on my plate and working really hard on everything. I just kind of got a little burnt out, but I'm starting to get back into the groove of everything, and I'm excited to get all these videos out there finally. And if you can tell by the mic quality change, I am re-recording this whole last bit because I guess when I recorded it the first time, the whole outro and everything, it just disappeared. Didn't save, I guess. So I had to do a last minute record, and I'm using my actual like Bluetooth earbuds and not my Xbox mic. So that's why my mic quality went from mid to pretty downright bad. But it's just the outro, so if it's really that bad, then I don't really know what to tell you, buddy. Go touch some grass. Other than that, though, that was the story, and I got really nothing else to say. That's also I just also wanted to update you on the big project that's happening and how excited I am. I want you to tell me if you're excited for that big project. I'd say it probably will be done in like 2 or 3 months if I can keep consistent on it. It's a big old video, but it'll be done. I promise one day, because My main drive for it is I want to see it finished. I want to watch it, so it'll get done eventually. My name is Reject, and you're a stranger who broke into my cellar looking for money, and I ended up rambling to you about me olden times. So, in the meantime, let me help you look, my friend, because frankly, I can't find any of my money either.